this.
Welcome back, guys, to another Clash Royale video, and today we're going to be taking a look at some 3-crown attack strategies from my fellow clan members. In this battle here on the bottom, we have Pablano facing Monkey King on the top there. Both players level 9 in the World Arena, and Monkey King is going to start out super aggressive with the Giant Spear Goblin push. Now, Pablano defenses pretty well with the cards that he had. He uses the Zap spell to kill the Goblins, and then uses the guards to try and take out the Giant. But that Giant is level 7, and it has a decent chunk of health on him. So in those couple of hits to the tower, he brings it all the way down to 1600 health. Now right here, Pablano has a little bit of a counter push going on, but he doesn't do too much damage in it. So definitely in that opening exchange, Monkey King came out ahead. Now right here, Pablano's going to go ahead and place down a pump on the right hand side and start getting ready for the late game. And Monkey King recognizes this as an opportunity to put on the pressure. So he's going to go in with the Giant Spear Goblin push one more time. And Pablano's going to go ahead and use the Zap spell again to kill those Goblins. And then use the Barbarians to try and take out the Giant. But unfortunately, Monkey King uses these Skeletons to distract all those Barbs. And as a result, the Giant does reach the tower. And he does a crazy amount of damage to that tower in a few seconds, bringing it all the way down to 500 health. Now right here, Pablano does have a decent counter push going on with those Barbarians, so he's going to support them with a Royal Giant. And take a look at Monkey King's hand right here. He has nothing left to defend against this push. He has arrows, Spear Goblin hut, a Giant, as well as a Barbarian hut. So like I said, nothing left to take out this Royal Giant. So as a result, Pablano is able to get the 1 crown lead so far. But right here, Monkey King has a counter push going on with some cheap troops. Pablano's going to go ahead and use the Princess here to take him out, but in the process, Monkey King uses the Fireball to take out that Princess as well as damage the tower. Pablano's tower is all the way down to 350 health, so he knows he's going to lose that tower. He's going to start putting on the pressure on the right-hand lane and try and keep the pressure on and force his opponent to play defensively. So right here, Royal Giant going down, but Monkey King actually decides to ignore that Royal Giant, and he's going to go and try and take out that tower. I'm assuming to give himself at least 1 crown towards his crown chest. So right here, Giant reaching the tower, evening the score to 1 crown apiece. But take a look at this, guys. In the process, Pablano was able to get the other tower, giving himself a 2 crown lead. And with 35 seconds left in the battle, Pablano is going to keep the pressure on and try and go for that 3 crown victory. So down goes the Royal Giant, targeting that King tower. Monkey King trying everything he can to get the other tower down, but it doesn't work out for him. And take a look at all of this pressure by Pablano. Guards going in there, Barbarians going in there, Spear Goblins going down, and in the process, Pablano was able to get the 3 crown victory. Let's go ahead to the next replay here, guys. So here we are, guys, with the next replay. On the bottom from my clan, we have Marco, and on the top there, we have Lorenzo. And Marco is using an interesting deck here. He has both the Valkyrie and the Bomber in his deck, which is a combination that I haven't seen used before, but was very impressed with this replay, seeing how fast that combo can take out a pack of Barbarians. Right here, Marco's going to start setting up a push with that Bomber as well as the Musketeer. Lorenzo sets up a push of his own with the Valkyrie up front with some Spear Goblins, but unfortunately the 1 bomb from the Bomber takes out all the Spear Goblins as well as does some crazy damage to that Valkyrie. And right here, Marco has a decent counter push going on with the Barbarians up front. Lorenzo drops down a pack of Barbarians of his own, but unfortunately for him, the Bomber clears them out pretty quickly, and he's forced to spend even more elixir defending his tower. So a pretty successful push right there by Marco. Even though he didn't do too much damage to the tower, he did force Lorenzo to spend a ton of elixir. And right here, Marco's going to go ahead and use 1 Valkyrie to counter a Musketeer Valkyrie push. So a pretty efficient use of elixir right there. Now Marco's going to go ahead here, use that Bomber to finish out that Valkyrie, and then he's going to build on that Bomber with a Royal Giant. And this is really how you maximize the use of your elixir, guys, is when you use troops on defense, you have to build on them for a counter push. And right here, Lorenzo has nothing left to defend against this Royal Giant. Fire Spit's going in there, and he's getting some crazy damage to that tower, giving himself the 1 crown lead so far in this battle. And take a look at both of Marco's towers, still 100% full health. So he has a very strong lead in this battle, guys. Now right here he does have some Barbarians as well as a Hog Rider going in, but he does have the pack of Barbarians. The Barbs are a very strong counter to the Hog Rider, guys. You just have to make sure your opponent doesn't have a Fireball or a Fire Spirit in their deck, so you have to make sure that you know your opponent's deck and adjust your strategy accordingly. Now right here he's got a Valkyrie going in there with the Barbs in the back as well as the Musketeer for support, and take a look at this, guys. Take a look at how much damage he's able to do to this King Tower with this one counter push. Keep in mind that the Barbs were played on defense to take out that Hog Rider, so the King Tower all the way down to 1500 health. And take a look at this, Lorenzo going in with another counter push with the Royal Giant up front with the Valkyrie in the back, but the Fire Spirits going in there, clearing out all of those Spirit Goblins, allowing the Bomber to do work to the Royal Giant. The Hog Rider isn't able to make it past that pack of Barbarians, so he isn't able to do too much damage to the tower. And right here, take a look at this, guys. Marco going in with a really strong counter push with the Valkyrie up front, the Bomber in the back, and the Musketeer. Now right here, Lorenzo drops down a pack of Barbarians, but watch how fast they die. They're gone in like half a second because of the Valkyrie Bomber combo, and as a result, Marco is able to get the 3-crown victory. Let's go ahead to another replay here, guys. So here we are, guys. On the bottom of this battle here, we have Kinguin from my clan, and on the top there we have Pedro. Now King is using the Giant Witch strategy, which is very strong right now, especially because the Witch just got buffed. And if you can manage to get the tower distracted by the Giant and allow the skeletons to hit it, you'll actually do some crazy damage to that tower. So right here, Witch making her way up on the right hand side, Giant going down in front of the Witch to help protect it. And take a look at this, the Crown Tower finally being distracted by that Giant. Witch's skeletons going in there. Now Pedro does drop down a mini peck in the back to take out the Witch, but there are still 2 skeletons alive doing some crazy damage to that tower, and in the process King is actually able to get a 1-crown lead. Now on the left hand lane, Pedro was going in with a push of his own with that Royal Giant, and he was able to bring that tower down to 1000 health. Now King doesn't actually have anything in his deck to distract the Royal Giant, so it's highly likely throughout the last 2 minutes of this battle he will lose that tower. So take a look at this, Pedro going in with the Royal Giant here. King is going to go ahead and use the Witch to try and take out the Royal Giant, because that's really the only option he had with the cards that he had in his hand at that moment. So Witch doing some decent damage to that Royal Giant, taking it out with 126 health left to spare on the tower. And right here, King setting up a counter push with that Giant up front. Now once again, Pedro drops down the mini peck in the back to take out the Witch, but this time he uses the Minion Horde to take out the Giant. And even though King did use the poison spell to take out the Minion Horde, it takes a bit of time to finish it off. So King was only able to bring the tower down to 1500 health in the process. So both players right here are fairly low in elixir. I'm going to sit back for a minute and start building it up, because it's never really a good idea to constantly play yourself down to 0 elixir. Pedro right here, going to go ahead and place down some minions. King is going to counter it with some archers as well as the Witch, but unfortunately, like I said earlier, he doesn't have anything in his deck to distract the Royal Giant, so there's pretty much nothing he can do to prevent that Royal Giant from getting at least 1 hit on that tower and taking it out. So here we are, score is even at 1 crown apiece, but King has a pretty strong counter push going on here with these archers up front, the Giant up front, and the Witch in the back. Now the Valkyrie going down, thankfully, to tank the mini P.E.K.K.A, but the Goblins going in there with the Minion Horde, pretty much taking out the entire support push by King. But take a look at this, guys. The Giant did make it to the tower, doing some pretty crazy damage in the process, and actually giving King the 2-crown lead so far in this battle. And take a look at this, on the right-hand side, Pedro was trying to go in with the Hog Rider, but unfortunately for him, the mini P.E.K.K.A was able to take it out pretty quickly. And right here, King is going to go for the 3-crown victory with the Giant up front. Now, Pedro does take out the support troops with that Giant, but unfortunately for Pedro, the Giant has made it all the way to the King Tower and doing some pretty crazy damage. Pedro is going to try and take out the tower on the right hand side, and he's actually going to ignore that Giant on the King Tower, which ends up being a huge mistake. So 10 seconds left, Royal Giant going down, and the Royal Giant is actually able to even up the score to 2 crowns apiece and allow the game to go into overtime, and all that does is allow King to get the 3-crown victory. So there we go, guys, King getting the 3-crown victory. Let's go ahead to the next replay here. So here we are, guys, with the final replay. On the bottom, from my clan, we have McNasty facing Neo on the top there. Both players level 9 in the Royal Arena. And Neo is going to start out super aggressively with a Hog Rider Spear Goblin push. And it kind of catches McNasty off guard, because as you see at the start there, he was busy saying good luck to his opponent. so he did take a bit of damage, bringing his tower down to 1800 health, but McNasty isn't too worried about that because he's using a Lava Hound strategy and he's going to go for that 3-crown victory. So he's placing down the pump here to get ready for a big push later on, and Neo is actually going to go ahead and use the Fireball to damage that pump as well as the tower, which I'm not sure is the best use of Elixir, guys. I think if you're going to Fireball a tower and a pump, you have to make sure to get a troop in there as well for it to be worth the Elixir. Now right here, he's going to start setting up a push with that Lava Hound way in the back, and that's how you use the Lava Hound, guys, is you want to try and place it in the back behind your base because it costs 7 Elixir and you need that time to build up the Elixir to set up a strong push behind that Lava Hound. And right here, Neo's going to try and put on some counter pressure with a Hog Rider as well as a Mini P.E.K.K.A, but unfortunately for Neo, the minions take it out pretty quickly, and right here, McNasty has a huge counter push going on with the Balloon, the Baby Dragon, as well as the Lava Hound. Take a look at this, guys. Balloon making his way in there, doing some crazy damage to that tower, giving McNasty the 1 crown lead so far, and McNasty is going to keep the pressure on. Instead of pulling back and placing down another pump, he's going to go ahead and place down some Barbarians because he knows his opponent is short on Elixir and is going to keep the pressure on, like I said, and as a result, he's going to be able to get the 3-crown victory right here. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.